So this year is a really big year for a couple of reasons, and they both involve this bloke, Brian Epstein. We're getting a brand new statue in Liverpool city centre. It's going to be in Whitechapel. There's been a big campaign to get to this point now. As well, of course, there's a film called Midas Man, which is released, which will tell the life of this icon that some people call the fifth Beatle, Tommy Calderbank, the man behind this incredible campaign. Tell us why it's so important.
It's so important because, like, you know, Brian is like a really underrated cultural figure. I think without Brian Epstein, you know, the history of the 20th century itself would have been very, very different. He was an incredible, and he was one of us for a start, and he needs celebrating. He's not known as the fifth Beatle for nothing. He took the Beatles and he made them, you know, not just top of the pops, but into cultural icons. And it isn't just the Beatle. I mean, just for that alone, he deserves recognition, a sculptural tribute like this. But it wasn't just that, of course. He was instrumental in the whole Merseybeat scene. So when you're talking about the history of Liverpool music, you're talking about, you know, Jerry and the Pacemakers, Cilla Black, the Chants, of course, the first black doo-wop group in the city, who went on to be the basis for The Real Thing, who became the first black group to hit #1 in the UK. Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. I mean, there was loads of them, you know. So he had a whole stable, a roster of talent, and of course he was dead by the age of 32. So he changed the hit, like the face of music, popular music. He had pretty much invented stadium rock as well, don't forget. And so we feel like it's easy, isn't it, to honour the people in the spotlight. It's harder to honour the roles of the people behind the scenes. And I think, and obviously in the history of the Beatles, you know, you can chart their demise from Brian's death. That's how important he was.
We've got to talk as well, obviously he died at 32, you know, he lived quite a dark life, you know, behind his own scenes.
Yeah, he did.
He will be the first LGBT statue that we've got in Liverpool, which is massive.
That's right, it is massive, it is, and again it just shows you that this is a pioneering statue, and I hope it raises important issues in my mind about representation in the public realm. If Liverpool's anything, it's a warm and an embracing, compassionate city, isn't it? Which should surely have representation for everybody in terms of gender diversity. That's the kind of city we want to be, isn't it? And that's the kind of message we want to be putting out there.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the statue, where it's going to be. Let's talk location first off.
Okay, so we looked at different locations, you know, and in the end, we, with our partners in the Cavern and with the Liverpool bid, we determined that the most historically accurate place to be would be outside NEMS. Yeah, on Whitechapel. He left NEMS and he took that short walk of however many steps that took to walk to the Cavern, to that cellar full of noise, yeah, and change the world. That one short walk. So when you see the statue, he'll have the contract in his hand.
So he's walking.
Yeah, that was where he first heard about the band. That was where the buzz started to reach his ears. The Beatles as an industry is worth at least £100 million a year to Liverpool. Apparently 1 in every 100 jobs in this town are related to the Beatles.
Yeah.
And that's only going to increase, because I work as a Beatles tour guide on the Liverpool City Sights bus. And I'll tell you something for nothing, Jay, the Beatles are getting bigger by the day. Now there's over 70 statues of the Beatles all around the world, such as the cultural impact on the planet, yeah? But this will be the first statue of Brian, and without Brian you wouldn't have had the Beatles, and where else could it be except Liverpool?
Secret elements, let's talk about them quickly, because there's going to be a few, like the Beatles statue, which we won't go into. We're going to do another feature on this, because I've just learnt loads from this bloke. What will be on Brian? Can you give us any kind of clues?
I can't, no. I can't, no, it's a mystery. You're going to have to wait and see, Jay, because but it's really important. Well, what it is I will say that it honours the hundreds of people who donated to this statue, you know, because this was a crowd-funded thing. This was by the original idea that this was going to be by the people and for the people, and so we're going to honour those people in a really clever and important way. But you have to wait and see.
Okay, can't wait for this. We've got to talk the backdrop of the kind of location, because you've created something, or an artist has created something. Let's see this before you finish up. So this is really impressive and really clever.
So this is local artist John Harborne has done as a limited edition print. Okay, so there's only 50 of these, and we're going to launch them on the 1st of March, okay, on our website, thefifthbeatlestory.com.
Love the Beatles under there. He's kind of over them, the NEMS sign.
Beautiful piece of art. And the reason for this as well, Jay, that people might not know this, but this project started life as the Brian Epstein statue project, but now it's the Brian Epstein Legacy Project. So the statue's only phase 1. Phase 2, we intend to create a musical instrument library for the underprivileged kids of the city. It's about just giving access to opportunities to young people to explore their creativity. It's about giving opportunities and for Brian's legacy to continue in terms of nurturing the next generation of talent in this town.
Listen, I could chat to this bloke all day. I love it when I do an interview and you don't have to ask any questions. He's full of passion for Liverpool, for the Beatles, and for this icon, the Brian Epstein statue. It's coming soon. I feel so lucky to be stood here. He's in peace. He looks like me on a Saturday night at the minute, but soon he won't. He'll be stood on Whitechapel in all his glory. More online, as always, theguideliverpool.com. Tommy Calderback, thank you.
Tate.